This year I'm looking for what makes me the happiest.
If not, we'll jump right on.
Right? So what I want you to do is if you think about something that you're experiencing right now, I want you to look at how you're feeling about it. Okay? And then I want you to ask yourself, what would I like to feel about it that's different? What's the feeling I'd actually like to have about this? And tune into that feeling, and that's the thing that you want to send out. What's going to make me feel this way? I'll give you another example. So in 2016, I was in a really bad car accident, right? And it happens. You know, we live in a high traffic area. It happens. For a couple of weeks afterwards, I maybe had a little trauma because for a couple of weeks afterwards, every time I would get in the car to start to back out the driveway, I would feel myself white knuckle the steering wheel. And I would start having this really tense feeling in my body where I'm, you know, and what I was doing, I was thinking about the fact that, because I got rear-ended by somebody that was going really fast and I didn't see it coming. It was on the beltway and they just slammed into me. So in my mind, I felt like an explosion had happened behind me, right? So I would tense up driving kind of, because I'm kind of like bracing for it. Right? And I'd see myself doing this in the garage and I'm like, man, I haven't even made it out of the driveway yet. This is not gonna work, right? So I would sit there and I would say, okay, I know what I'm afraid of having happen. What do I want to have happen instead? And so I'd be like, well, okay, it'd really be great if traffic is moving today, right? Traffic's moving without delays. It would really be great if I had green lights all the way. It would really be great if I learned something from my audio book on the way there. It would really be great if the weather's good. It would really be great if I had amazing parking karma and I could park right near the door when I get to where I'm going. And then I would tune in, now how's that gonna make me feel? Well, for me, satisfied, happy, comfortable, content, at peace. I would have a peaceful trip. So I would go, okay, that's where we're gonna be, and then I would pull out of the driveway. So that's how you shift it. So when you catch yourself doing something or thinking something and you start to feel those emotions come in and you know that you're getting on that lower frequency, all you have to do is say in your head, cancel, clear, thank you, I know how to live my life without the need to have that experience, and then create in your mind the experience you want and go have that. And it takes a little bit of practice, but I am really good at cancel, clear now, right? So even now I do it when people are even telling me horrible things. I'm cancel clearing in my mind because I want to be, you know, I want to support, but I don't want that internalizing to me, right? You see? So that's kind of how you start to create a whole different experience for yourself. Now let's talk about being in the flow of prosperity. What am I doing on time? Oh, good. Does anybody have any questions? Yes?
I always thought the best example of having your subconscious take over your physical is if anybody here has children and you can't find them, or they're late and it's dark, and then you start to worry, and then you really start to worry, and then you start to physically feel like nervous and sick, and you know, that's, you gotta cancel clear because you're the only one in charge of that feeling. You know, of course everything's gonna be okay. And then you have to start shifting. The good news is that as fast as that can go downhill, just like she's saying, you can push it uphill, and you can create a significant amount of momentum.
It's amazing. It's really amazing. It's amazing. So here's the other cool thing that I want you to know, and this is very powerful. Are any of you having thoughts of creating things, maybe not today, but maybe in future for your business, or you're already considering that you want to help more people, or you want to create, or you want to contribute, or you want to give back to the community? Okay, here's what's cool about that. So in our life, we tend to move financially from what we'll call survival, which is where you're meeting bills, right? For me, living on ramen in my mid-20s, that was definitely survival, right? Okay, and then you move to stability, where you really start to have things more handled, right? And once you get to stability, that's usually when people start thinking about what's next, how do I become successful, right? And you're moving to success. Well, significance is when you're getting success handled and you're getting to the point now that you're really starting to want to think about and want to create an impact in the world, okay? So here's what I'm going to tell you. Wherever you are, the moment that you started thinking about creating something significant to impact the world, you're already at significance. You just have to allow the time to catch up for the other levels. So I meet a lot of business people who actually think they're not successful while they're simultaneously speaking and thinking about significance. The moment you started to create it, your frequency took a jump. Can you see that? Because in your mind, the moment you started thinking and feeling about giving something back, creating something, helping people, spreading something, creating huge events or contributing to the world, your frequency jumps to significance. You just have to give time for it to show up the way you think that it should. It doesn't mean you're not there. So that's the power of it. So keep thinking about significance. Success, believe me, will happen, right? That's how this works. So it's a beautiful thing to start to understand. Now, I have a lot of people that say to me, okay, but Marla, I started this new thing, and there are so many people that are giving me a hard time. Or so many people don't want me to succeed. Does anybody have that or have that experience when you started something new? Okay, so here's what's cool about frequency. This is what I really want you to understand. Because that thing we did with the energy stick, your thoughts and feelings are also impacting people around you because they're picking up on yours and you're picking up on theirs. So it's important for you to understand how this frequency thing works. So when you first decided that you wanted things to be different, whether you decided you wanted to have success in business or a different lifestyle or whatever it is that prompted you to start to make a change in your life, right? The moment you had that thought, your frequency took a little jump, okay? Now, anybody around you who wasn't having those thoughts, their frequency, so you guys are here, your frequency takes a little jump when you start thinking about, I want things to be different, okay? The moment you start to actually implement the actions to create things to be different, your frequency takes another little jump, right? Then you start to have a little confidence that like, hey, I actually might make this work. Your frequency takes another little jump. Then you start to see the possibilities for how you can help other people with whatever you're doing, and it takes another little jump, right? You see this? So people who didn't come on that journey with you, their frequency is still here. Now yours is going to here. Now you start to have a little success and you start to think about how you can give back, contribute, and have significance. Goes again. So people in your life that have given you a hard time, they're just at a different frequency than you're on, right? It doesn't mean that they're bad. They're not targeting you. They're not deliberately trying to tear you down. What happens with frequency? Well, once your frequency goes up, you can't spend time gossiping anymore because it's not palatable to you. You're not on that frequency. You don't like it. You don't want to spend time tearing people down anymore. You want to spend your time lifting people up because your frequency is up here. So and you're bringing people and experiences and things to you that are in alignment with that. Well, somebody whose frequency hasn't jumped, they're still on that lower frequency. So that's where the gossiping, the frustration, the hating, all those things are taking place. And you think that they're doing it to you because you started something new. They're not. My husband tells me all the time, no one is singling you out. They are not targeting you, I promise. He used to tell me that all the time. And he's right. It's just your frequency is here, and that other frequency is here. And it may not ever choose. You might love somebody very much who never chooses to raise their frequency. And here's the beautiful thing. Love them anyway, and give yourself the space to just recognize that that's where they are. And maybe they'll make a choice one day because you inspire them through what you're doing to jump the frequency, or they may stay there and it doesn't matter. You can have unconditional love for them anyway. But you no longer have to take it personally. They're just there. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that powerful? It's so powerful when you realize you're not a target. It's really cool. Also, you're going to start to attract people that will be at the same frequency as you and support that. You'll start to find yourself in rooms of people, in organizations, with speakers, with friends, right, that support that. And you might have other people around you jump their frequency just because you love them so much and they're inspired by what you're doing. So just be patient. The same thing happens in personal growth. So I get this question a lot from people. I've been growing myself like crazy. And my spouse is not. Anybody hear that? We hear that. I hear that a lot from people. Well, I'm going to tell you a secret. I'm going to say this on camera. Okay, I'm going to tell you a secret.
He's gonna tell her, we're a divorce lawyer, go ahead.
Right. So everything's energy. You share an energetic field with the person that you shares your life, right? If you're intimate, you're sharing DNA. Okay? Amazing things happen in the body when you're on a more positive frequency. What also happens? Typically your health follows. When you're happier and feeling good, you also feel healthier. You also have less pain. You ever notice that on a really good day, you just won't have all that cranky stuff in your body? Well, because the body follows the frequency. Well, what's the main communicator in the body? DNA and RNA, right? So when you share DNA with a person, if you are having an enormous amount of growth, go love them up. Let them have all that energy from you, right? And give them time to catch up.
It works.
It works. My husband told me so many times when I first started taking different trainings and having different experiences, especially last year. Last year I became one of the only, I'm really the only practicing certified theta healing instructor in the state of Maryland. Right? I'm the only one really teaching classes actively. And so in that work, I've had thousands of hours now of learning how to use theta brainwave, which I'm going to teach you at the end here. It's really cool. To create more in my life and to release limiting beliefs and to do a lot of things, right? So my personal growth has been huge in the past year. So, you know, I might take a class that's 4 days, and I literally forgot things that I didn't even like 4 days ago. Have you guys ever had a jump like that in something you learn or something you take? Okay. So I would come home and sort of be a little different after being away for a class. And he would say, babe, I'm so excited for you. I'm so excited to see you light up and shining and happy. But you gotta give the rest of us a little time to catch up. And that's the best advice I've ever been given, is recognize that because you're out getting it and you're pushing it and you're creating and your mind is always on working about what can I do next, what can I contribute, how can I help, and all of that, you gotta give everybody else a little time to catch up to that because you're going really fast. But just love them up. That's the best advice I can give you. They want you to be there. They want to love you. They want to see you have success. And in that way, it's a win-win for everybody, because I really believe in win-win. Okay? So what about win-win in flowing prosperity? John's a master of this. You really are.
I'm trying.
You are. So if you really look at the world around you, I would assert that a lot of the world today operates in what I would call a lose-win proposition. For me to win, somebody else has to lose. Actually, a lot of the world operates in lose-lose. I'm losing, so you should lose too, right? Anybody know about that? All right. Here's what's interesting. We think of us as, we try to often think, well, if I'm going to win, someone else has to lose. And you actually see really heart-centered leaders shift it, right? In order for me to help a person win, I have to lose. I see a lot of business people that think that in order to help a client win, they have to lose. So here's what's really cool. How about we can be a win-win? And this is where you flowing your prosperity makes a difference, who you're being, right? So before you go into any transaction, before you join any organization, before you spend time with anybody, before you sell your services to anybody, before you walk into an appointment, before you make a call, get clear in your head, what is a win for me out of this experience today? What's a win for me if I join this group? What's a win for me if I go to this lunch? What's a win for me if I go to this coffee? Be clear what's a win for you. And then when you're meeting the other people and you're considering partnering or joining or working together, you need to find out what's a win for them to work with you. Because if you're at win-win, your success in all of your relationships is going to go off the map. It's also important to be at win-win with everything in your life, because when you're there, you're happy to pay for stuff. You know what happens when you're happy to pay for stuff? You're given more money to pay for it because you have that good feeling when you're doing things. If I'm happy to pay for your services, I'm thrilled that that prosperity, because here's the thing, money and prosperity, it doesn't flow to us and stop, it flows through us. Right? So when you're in business and someone's paying your fee and you're collecting that, you're gonna flow it back out to somebody else, right? So you're not just feeding your family, because I'm gonna pay my overhead on my business and I'm gonna buy all kinds of stuff, right? Well, that's gonna go out and support the families and all the people in the community that are aligned with the places I'm paying. So prosperity is flowing through you. That's how the flow works. So you need to be happy who you're paying. And you need to be happy who's paying you. Think about that. If you want to have more, that's key. That's really vital. And I would also assert that you want to seek value. This is all in your handout, by the way. You want to seek value. So sometimes we get in a mindset and you say, well, I really want to buy this thing, but I can't afford it. So I want you to, from now on, if you really want to buy this thing and the money isn't there currently, new conversation. I'm working on it, I'm creating it, it's flowing to me. Let me check back with you in 90 days. Not I can't afford it. And don't seek cheap. Because if you're seeking cheap, if you're seeking a cheap deal, then what are you being? Cheap. So then what's everybody asking you to do? Lower your rate. Because everybody in meeting's cheap. Because you're on a frequency of cheap. So here's what I want you to do. Seek value. What's the best value for your money? It's a little shift, but it makes a huge difference in how you perceive things. So start having your conversations and your intention with every single person you work with, that it be win-win. Right? You want to create win-win with people that serve you food. You want to create win-win with businesses that you consult with. You want to create win-win with your products. Right? It's life-changing. And what happens is then when you start to get into larger groups, when you start to be a part of foundations, when you start to be a part of teams, then you start into the concept of, if I that you win and I win, we both win. Then we go to, we both win. Now we're at the team, we all win. How does everybody win? Now if we're all winning in this organization, now the world can win. You see? And that's that amazing ripple effect you have in that flow. So if you catch yourself doing the whole, well, I'm really going to lower my rates to get this client because I feel sorry for them so they can win, I'm going to lose. I want you to stop and ask yourself what's really a win for you. And you may actually decide it's not to take that client, but to go find one that's going to value and appreciate and respect you. That's going to be a win-win with you. So that's what I would encourage you to do. And the moment that you do that, you'll see more prosperity flow to you, because now what are you doing? You're creating that you're winning. So you're going to have more reasons to win. You're going to have more opportunities to win. And you're going to feel good about everybody you're working with. And you're going to feel good about everybody you're paying. It's amazing, right? Okay. So, let's see where we are. I'm keeping track of time because I want to make sure that...
102.
All right. So let's talk a little bit about releasing some things, okay? Because I will tell you, if you are carrying, right, or if you're carrying a lot of baggage, it's very hard to create the flow of something new to you when you have all of that stuck energy. Like trying to create joy while simultaneously resenting someone all the heck is like putting icing on a mud pie, right? So what I would encourage you is, if there's an area in your life where you need to look at really forgiving someone or releasing someone or something or some experience, I highly encourage you to spend some time working through that. And look at it a little differently. Here's what I want to tell you about forgiveness. If there's somebody you won't forgive, this is what I have learned in my journey of working with people. A lot of times we won't forgive somebody, not so much because we're trying to punish them. Usually you can identify whether or not you're letting them off the hook. We all kind of get forgiveness isn't about letting someone off the hook, right? We get that. But what happens is, in addition to whatever the experience was, you probably learned some very valuable lessons out of that experience, right? Okay. So when you're not forgiving a person and you're hanging on to it, a lot of times what I find is people are afraid if they go to forgiveness, they'll forget the lesson they learned that was vital to their success or their survival. So allow yourself to identify any lessons, any virtues, anything that did come out of that experience that was positive. Allow yourself to keep the lessons without the need to repeat the experience because you've learned them. And then you can release it. another simple tip, if you're not quite there yet, go home and clean out your closets, it'll stir up the energy. Getting rid of stuff will stir the energy. Anytime you're ready to create something new, go clear out stuff. Clear out your inbox and your email, right? Clear out your voicemail. It stirs up the energy and gives you a new space to create more from, okay? Now, tell you something too about being in the flow, because I think what we're all seeking with this is, you know, those days where it really is green lights all the way, where everything, you're just popping, you're just going along and you're just popping, right? And you're just riding that wave. When you're doing that, it's usually because what's happening is what you're up to is also aligning with your divine timing for the purpose that you're here for on this earth, right? So you need to start paying attention to create more of that flow for yourself to your inner guidance. Your inner guidance is so important to you. And so I'm going to tell you right now, whatever your plan is, or wherever you are, if your inner guidance is different, if your gut feeling about something or someone is different than what you're being told it should be, I am going to give you permission. You have permission to throw out the rule book. You can be kind, you don't have to be nice, but you can release yourself from that. Because here's the thing. If you really realize this, what happens when you get an inner guidance about something? When you get that feeling, don't work with this person.
It doesn't turn out good.
Right, it doesn't turn out good. But what happens? You feel a person betrayed you, right? You get that inner feeling of, I shouldn't work with this person, and then you do anyway because you want to be nice, or they're part of the organization, or everybody says they're great, or whatever, and you talk yourself out of that feeling, right? Well, and then it goes exactly like you were afraid it would, and it shows up in your mind as a betrayal. Somehow they betrayed you, right? Well, here's the thing. The first betrayal was the one you paid on yourself when you didn't listen to your inner guidance. Now, that's a hard one, but if you can start to see that, it's incredibly powerful, because when you're plugged in and you're working in alignment with what's there for you to do, you're gonna get a lot of internal pulls. And how you know is when you do the things that make you happy, that's probably where your purpose in this world lies. Because it feels good, it makes you happy, you can do it all day, you do it for free. You're thrilled to get paid for it, right? That feeling, that's when things are in flow. We often stop the flow in a moment that we don't listen to the inner guidance, if you think about it, right? So the beautiful thing is we're all connected, right? And we're all getting information all the time. We're always getting guidance. So you want to follow that internal guidance, and that's what you're gonna find that where your interests lie, where your joy lies, where you feel the happiest, if you start seeking more of those experiences, more of those people, more of those partnerships, more of those transactions in your business, that's gonna also allow you to flow more. And it just sort of opens up a dam where you can create a lot of prosperity very, very quickly. When you start to understand that when you're not just working, like work your strategic plan, but that's not actually what you're manifesting. That's just a roadmap. What you're manifesting is the experiences that you want to have, the feeling that you want to have every day, all day in your life. Right? So everything else, I would say, is as guided. So it's okay sometimes to throw out the rule book if you feel like your higher guidance is contrary to that. John's a master at that.
Jim Procaccini says you follow the rules, you can't win.
I didn't say that.
Yes, you did.
All right? Okay, so here's something real cool. We got a few minutes left. I want to teach you an exercise, okay? This is going to be fun. So, everybody got a piece of paper? All right. So, on a piece of paper, I want you to write down the names of the 3 people that inspire you the most. Or 3 people in your life that have inspired you the most. And it can be anybody. It can be your spouse, it could be a mentor, it could be a superhero, it could be Oprah. Yeah, 3 people that have inspired you the most. It could be a coach from Little League. 3 names. First 3 that come to your mind. Yeah, don't overthink this. Everybody got 3 names? Okay, now I want you to write down by each person's name, 3 virtues that you believe they have that you really admired that inspired you. So it could be their courage, or their kindness, or their faith, or their clarity, you know, whatever you think the virtue is that you know that they carry that you really admire. And so by each person's name, write 3. Everybody got 9 virtues? Give or take? Got 9? Yep. All right. Now here's what I want you to realize. It's you. You can't even begin to admire in another person a quality that you don't already possess. So you're being,
Oh, yes.
who you're being, right? You can only perceive in others what you have capacity for yourself. So you can go ahead and take ownership that if you can admire these qualities in someone else, you already have them. You're just not maybe allowing yourself to enjoy them or experience them fully. But they're already yours. This is already who you are. And so if there's one thing you take away from today, I want you to take away who you are because you're amazing. Right? And so many times we think that that's outside of ourselves, but it's not. It's right there inside. And you are all amazing, because I know I can tell by the looks on faces around, you all thought of some really amazing people that have had an amazing influence on you to put on the page. Okay, so here's one more thing I want you to write down. And let's keep it simple, so don't, because we're going to do a meditation. I'm going to show you how this works. This is really cool. So write down one thing right now that you're wanting to manifest or create in your life. And then I want you to write down what the feeling is that you're seeking to have when you get it. Okay? Y'all made me cry. Write down the feeling that you're seeking to have when you get it. Right? So I know for me, let's see, I am looking to change up my cars because I just got a second dog, and I am seeking the joy that I'm going to feel now riding around with 2 golden retrievers in my vehicle hanging out the window. Right?
And they are a trip.
And they are a trip. So I just know that that is going to bring me a lot of joy. So that's the feeling I'm seeking when I upgrade my car. Right? And peace and rest. I like to drive good cars because I'm rested when I get to my event. Right? So write down the feeling you're seeking. Everybody got one? Okay. Now, before we do this next exercise, I'm going to teach you how to put yourself in a theta brainwave meditation. And here's what I'm going to tell you about brainwaves. So, when you're actively thinking, speaking, doing, you're in beta brainwaves. Fast science, okay? If you've ever been driving down a long street, you were probably in a low alpha brainwave. That's a meditation brainwave. If you have ever gone to sleep, and right as you're falling asleep, or right as you're waking up, you have a beautiful aha moment where you solve a problem, you're in theta brainwave. Everybody had that experience? You wake up in the morning and suddenly you just know who you need to call, or like you just have this aha moment, right? Or sometimes we keep a notebook by the bed because it happens falling asleep. Well, as you're going to sleep, you pass through theta brainwave. Theta brainwave is that amazing brainwave that aligns with what you're creating, okay? Now, deep delta brainwave is when you're in really deep sleep, okay? Deep delta brainwave, you can actually lay down new neural pathways and connections. So, when I teach people to work with theta brainwave, what I'm teaching them is how to create what they want, to release limiting beliefs instantaneously by going into a theta brainwave. And then when they go to sleep at night in deep delta, it actually lays down new neural pathways and connections to create that. Isn't that cool? That's why I did it. I did it because I wanted to help my consulting clients and the people I was training. And all the experiences I've had, I learned that doing theta healing meditations was the fastest, simplest, easiest way to quickly release a limiting belief and create a new one and create a different experience. And so when I started this journey, I didn't really intend to become an instructor and all these other things that I'm doing now. I actually really just intended to have another tool in my kit to help clients. But I love it, and so I want to share it with everybody because everybody can do this. I'm not special. Now, before I share it with you though, because here's the other thing. In Theta Brainwave, you're highly suggestible. So before I put you in Theta Brainwave and teach you how to do this, I'm going to tell you to please fill out the forms that if you would like to learn more about upcoming workshops that I'm having, there's an email form, phone number. I don't like to spam people, so I really only want you on my list if you want to be on there. But I've got some amazing workshops that I'm creating coming up this year. I already ran 2 half-day workshops in January that were fantastic and had amazing people in them. I also do one-on-one sessions with people, and I do corporate training in groups. You also have a page on there where, because you came today, if you're interested in getting a session with me or getting a group together to do a group training, I am available at 30% off my usual rate to you if you contact me and book with me by Tuesday of next week. All right, so y'all ready? So that's the business end. Now we can go on Theta Brainwave, and I can be in integrity because I'm not suggesting that you purchase my services. All right, y'all ready? Is everybody good with this? You want to do this? Okay, so you've got your 9 virtues. You've got your thing that you're manifesting, and you know how it's going to feel when you get it, right? Everybody's got that? Okay, close your eyes. If you're game. If you're not, it's okay. Now, we don't violate anybody's free agency, as I've told you. So if something comes in that I think will be good for you to have in your brain, I will ask you for your permission if you would like this, if you would say yes. If you're a no, you're a no. It's cool, all right? So, all right, close your eyes. Okay, so I'm going to teach you first how to ground yourself, and then we're going to walk your subconscious up into a Theta Brainwave. Okay, so close your eyes. All right. I want you to picture putting your energy, putting you, all of your love, your heart, in a big ball of white light over your heart. And I want you to now picture taking that ball of white light and push it down your body. So it's going to go down through your solar plexus, down through your belly, down through your hips, down through your legs. Take it all the way down through your ankles. And now it's going to pass down through the bottoms of your feet. And as it passes through the bottoms of your feet, I want you to feel your feet fully connecting to the floor. And you're going to continue to take that ball of light and travel downward. And as you do, I want you to envision that roots are sprouting from the bottoms of your feet and going down into the earth. And so you're going to go down through the foundation of the floor, down through all the dirt, down through the rock strata, all the way down to that hot molten core at the center of the earth. And as you're down there with that hot molten core, I want you to observe the energy, the wisdom, the oldness of it. And just be with that for a minute. And then I want you to picture putting that in that ball of light with you, and now pulling it back up those roots, all the way back up from the center of the earth, back up through the rock strata, back up through the dirt, through the foundation, through the floor, through the bottoms of your feet, firmly planting your feet on the floor. And now travel that ball back up your body, up your legs. It may warm you up a little bit, passing it up through your hips, up through your belly, your solar plexus, up past your heart, now up through your throat, up through your head, and now past that big ball of white light out the top of your head, and send it upward. So you're going to go up out over the restaurant, out over the earth, up out over the solar system, up out over the galaxy, up over all the galaxies. Now you're going to pass through layers of light and dark, through a beautiful golden light, through a jelly-like substance, and you can either see or feel or have an idea of a pink or red mist or a door. And as you pass through that, you're going to enter a big ball of pearlescent white light. And you're going to say it's requested that I be fully connected to my higher power. And for you, I use Creator because it's neutral. You can use God. You can use Ganesh, whatever you want. Okay? So it is requested that I be fully connected to Creator. Thank you, it is done, it is done, it is done. Okay, now, in that big ball of pearlescent white light connected, you should feel a sense of peace, or a sense of gratitude, or a sense of incredible love, and that's how you know you're fully connected. Okay? Now I want you to picture putting another ball of white light in front of you. Now I want you to look at the ball and observe what color it is and what direction it's spinning. And now I want you to take that thing that you're manifesting and put that in that ball of light in front of your heart. And I want you to take all 9 of those qualities and also put those in that ball of light in front of your heart. And it's going to start to spin faster. And now I want you to picture sending it out into the universe. Push it out. And as it goes out, I want you to see, does it slow down? Does it stop? If it slows down or stops, ask yourself what's stopping it. If it's something you need to release, you can make the request that just be released into Creator's love and light, and that you can create the new experience that you need. Okay? Now as that ball gets out and stops, full of those 9 qualities, full of that thing you're creating, now I want you to feel, really feel the feeling that you're seeking to feel. And put that feeling in that ball of light. Now watch it spin in the opposite direction. And now I want you to start to pull it back to you. As it comes back to you, it's going to pull in to its light. You're going to see go into that light all of the people, all the resources, all the guides, all the mentors, all the experiences, all the virtues, all the things that you need to create that feeling. And pull it all the way back to you, bringing it into yourself. And when you're ready, open your eyes. You like that? So you see how powerful you are? Did anybody see the ball? Yeah? Did you see stuff go in it as it came back? Isn't that the coolest thing? So you now have a new tool in your kit if you choose to use it on how to manifest things differently for yourself. You're so powerful, you can request anything. I literally will go up in my mind in theta brainwave. I'll connect if I don't know what price to charge for something. And I can get higher guidance for that. So, you know, you hear people say you can ask for anything, be specific. You really can. Right? You really can. So how am I doing on time? Awesome. Okay, 1:22. I'll teach you one last really cool thing for those of you that would like to learn this. Do any of you ever do presentations or lead organizations or groups and at the end of it feel completely drained? Anybody do that? You do? Okay. All right, so here's a good one, all right? So I used to do that too. And I realized what I did was I always wanted, especially when I was doing sales and marketing, because I did sales and marketing for 10 years, I would often be in front of huge numbers of people wanting them to buy my stuff, right? And so I would always be sending my energy out trying to sort of elevate so that the room would be happy and having fun around me because people will be more engaging, right? And then I'd be out for like a week after doing an all-day kind of workshop like that. So here's what I learned that's really cool that you can do. So when you're doing that, if you're feeling really drained, it's because you're trying to use your energy, right? So what you just tapped into is actually infinite. Because in order to work like this, you have to have faith in a higher power, and I'm pretty sure everybody in here does. So in theta brainwave, it's actually the brainwave of prayer. So what we did was we walked your subconscious like it was stair-stepping up to Creator or stair-stepping up to God. All we're doing is teaching your subconscious a formula so it knows how to do it. But the moment that you in your mind start to pray or want to connect with a higher power, you're going to go into light theta brainwave. Okay? So when you do that, when you're fully connected, you can ask Creator for anything. You can draw on that infinite source of unlimited power. So what I'm going to teach you to do now is when you're getting ready to go present to a lot of people or work with clients, instead of using your energy, you can literally walk yourself up, picture fully connecting to that infinite source, and ask the energy to flow down through your body and out your body, out your hands to the other people around you. Right? You see how different that would be? Now you have unlimited source of energy to tap into. You don't have to use yours to constantly be pushing out to everybody. You have an unlimited source of energy, and it's the same as flowing your prosperity. What does it do? It flows through you and out to others. So if you'll just picture very quickly when you're sitting in your car getting ready to go into an appointment or a presentation where you want to bring that love, that energy, that heartfelt excitement and enthusiasm, just picture asking your body to ground and connect to the earth, and then picture that energy, that unconditional love, that light flowing through you and out to everybody else. And they can draw as much as they want because they're going to draw from that instead of yours. That was life-changing for me because now I have tons of energy to be in front of as many rooms as I want to be in front of and to help people. And I just never, I don't have to get tired because I'm not giving mine away. Right? You may have any questions?
You know, that whole thing that you just described, you know, I feel like I'm a stealer of energy because I grab other people's energy. I really do. And
There are a lot of people who do.
And one of the things about John's groups, when you're there, you're different. You're sucking energy from everybody around you, you know?
Well, hopefully today you're sucking it from source.
I think I suck some of yours.
Right? But see, that's why, you know. So it's a cool thing to know. You can have it's infinite, and you can ask for anything. All right? I gave you a really great worksheet on some really cool actions to follow to help blow your prosperity. I also will highly recommend.
Patty has a question.
Yep. Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
So Marla, what is your definition of success?
Honestly, at this point, in one line, the thing that makes me the happiest. The experiences that make me the happiest. I want to be the happiest in my home life. I want to be the happiest with my husband. I want to be the happiest in my environment. I want to be the happiest with my clients. So for me, success is what makes me happiest. It just is. And you know, as far as monetary, do I have monetary goals? Absolutely. Do I have goals for people, for creating projects, for creating streams of income? I'm doing all of that. But at the bottom of all of it is it making me the happiest? And will it continue to?
I got one.
Yes.
All right, everybody, finish this sentence. If you want respect, you have to to yourself.
Yes.
So take advantage of Marla's offer for 33% off. You really should invest in yourself to get a little further ahead, get your waves up as you speak. Thank you all very much for coming. Thank you, Marla. And obviously, Cheryl, you deserve a tremendous amount of credit for bringing your way together.
I look forward to hosting this in the future. Remember, second Thursday every month. And if you all decide that you want it more, let me know. We'll make it happen.
Second Thursday of the month. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.